You ready?
Is this on?
Ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey everybody, welcome to C2E2. My name is Garrett Fuller. I work for MMORPG.com. One of the games we cover, which I absolutely love, is Marvel Heroes Online. And so we have the team here tonight. It's nighttime now. It's like we're, wow, the long panel, long day, long panels. So anyway, thanks so much for coming out. And what was that, Dave?
I just woke up.
You just woke up. See, that's how it goes.
You need to bring that microphone closer.
I know, right?
Yes, sir.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a quick video and a kind of a movie to show you guys what's going on with the game right now. And then the guys will go into a bunch of different topics, and we'll take some questions from you guys as well. So are you ready, Jason? You good? All right.
Oh, no sound. This has worked perfectly. We
hired mimes. We don't need a sound department. David Brevik is the new sound department. Oh, nice.
It's time to bust some names.
My favorite part of that video is when they showed Luke Cage throwing the car, because we stayed one night, all night, hooking up 25 different cars that could be randomly selected for Luke Cage's car.
It falls directly out of the sky, just right into his hands.
Cool. So real quick, we're going to go through a little bit what we're going to talk about. We will talk about, obviously, Marvel Heroes and the extent of Marvel Heroes that are in the game right now. I think we were talking before, there's about 33 right now, right? But
33.
The possibilities are endless. So we'll go to the obscure character questions later, because I know some of these guys probably want to ask. Talk about where the game is right now. The guys will go through some behind-the-scenes stuff, and then they'll give us a preview of what's coming up in the game. So I'm going to introduce the gang, and we go through everybody. So go ahead. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves. You know better than me.
So you can let's go down the line here.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. You can start.
I'm Ryan Collins. I'm the community manager for Marvel Heroes, and that's what I do.
Beautiful.
What's your farm name?
My farm name is Realnir, which is really hard to pronounce,
I
and
cannot
nobody
pronounce
can pronounce it. I would love to change it, but it's
He
been like a
can
year.
barely pronounce it.
Realnir, like Mjolnir.
Only different.
Only different.
My name is Jeff Donay, and my forum name is super easy to spell because I didn't go to school. It's Doomsaw. Really easy.
My name is Matt Group. I'm one of the producers on the game. My forum name is One Armed Matt. I don't know how I came up with that. There you go.
And I'm David Brevik, and I'm CEO, and my forum name is Xerix. He never posts. It's rare. It's rare.
He has not selected an avatar.
He's a very busy man.
That's true.
If you were to select an avatar, who would it be? Favoritism.
Well, lately I've been playing Rocket so much, so. Yeah.
It's a good choice.
There you go. Cool. All right, so who's going to kick us off with the hero set?
Good question. David Brevik.
Oh, yeah.
Dave,
okay.
you're starting? Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm kicking it off. All right, look
There
at
you
it.
go.
Oh my God, there I am without a beard. So I'm David Brevik. I am CEO of Gazillion. I'll give you a little bit of background on myself. I've been in the video game business since 1991. My very first video game, a little trivia here, was on the Sega Genesis, so that kind of dates me there. And I started my first company in 1993. That company became Blizzard North and Blizzard Entertainment, and I made Diablo, Diablo 2, and helped make StarCraft, Warcraft 3, and World of Warcraft.
Never heard of any of those.
What are those? And then about in fact, it just happened. This is my 5-year anniversary just happened at Gazillion. I came here to do the Marvel product because they had the Marvel license. I'm a big Marvel nut, and so I wanted to do a Marvel game. And I came to Gazillion to be the creative director on the project, and now I'm CEO. So it's been a very strange road, but now I'm really happy with the way that things turned out. But it was a very different path than I originally anticipated. So we made Diablo 1 and Diablo 2, action RPG genre. I don't know what I'm supposed to say here, but I guess I can tell a story about the Diablo 1 was originally a turn-based game. It was based on a game that I played in college a lot on our Unix machines called Angband. And you were the @ symbol, and you attacked the letter K. It was turn-based, and it had random levels that were made out of hex, pound signs were the walls, and dots were the floor. And this was really advanced back then. And, and it had random levels and random items and all these kind of things. And so I said, well, I want to make an updated version of this when we were pitching Diablo. And we pitched Diablo to 30 different companies, and they all turned us down. When we finally were given the opportunity to make it and update it, it was still a turn-based game. And we modeled the graphics. The actual square tile size was based on a game called XCOM, where we took a screenshot of that and used the tile, because it had a cursor, and we used the cursor to be the basis for our tile. And we were about a year into development, maybe 6 months into development. And they came, we'd been working with, Blizzard was 2 companies. It was 2 different development companies. It became one. One was up in Northern California, one's down in Southern California. And the guys down south said, oh, what do you think about changing it to real time? Because they had done the same kind of thing with strategy game, making a real-time strategy game, which they had kind of copied Dune 2000 at that time, but and they had done it with Warcraft 1, and went, oh, I don't know about that. It's going to take some of the strategy out of it, blah, 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 blah. So we fought about it for months. And finally I said, okay. I'll do it. I'll make it a real-time game. I'll give it a try. So I mocked it up in 1 hour, and so I was playing the game, and the first time I can remember it like it was yesterday. I clicked on this skeleton. My avatar walked over there and went and broke the skeleton in half. It was like the clouds parted, the ray of sun came through the window. I was like, oh my God, this is so awesome! And after that, that was the birth of the action RPG right there when I mocked it up. And I was like, that was the best decision. We fought about that thing endlessly. It was the best decision we ever made. So there was the birth of Diablo 1. And then why free to play? Well, I guess I can say this. I used to say, well, I would like to trick the businessman into actually being able to give my products away for free. But now that I am the businessman, I really enjoy giving away my products for free. It's really because I want as many people to play as possible. And I do this to entertain people. And I do it because I love it, and I love making games. And if I can give those games away for free and make some excuse out of that, then it's a total win. So that's why I originally chose free to play, so that more people could play. There you go.
I'm still bent on the 30 companies that turned down Diablo. I just want to know where those guys are now. That's all.
That's it for me, I guess.
Okay, cool. So the game's been out for a while, and the next slide we're going to talk about what's really come over the past year for the game, right, Jason?
Right. Okay.
Go ahead.
So this slide shows you an example of some of the 33 heroes that we've released. One of the things that we've done with Marvel Heroes. Look at Rocket.
Look at little Rocket, I know.
He's awesome. So we're not stopping at the 4 or 5 classes that a traditional RPG has. We're blessed to have the license of Marvel, and they have 1,000 heroes, some of which are
8,000
They have
characters.
8,000. We're
But
only
it's
doing
8,000.
1,000 though. We're going to cap it at 1,000, please. So you heard it here. We'll stop at 1,000. So we've been super blessed to have that license, and it allows us to do things a little bit differently than a traditional ARPG. We don't have to just have one thief class or one rogue class. We can have tons of variations on what an assassin type character is. We can have a ton of variations on what a melee type character is. You'll notice that playing, oh, a question, who actually plays Marvel Heroes here? Raise your hands. Oh, wow.
Wow.
Nice.
Everyone, except the curly-haired girl. So you know, having played, that a melee like Moon Knight plays radically different than a melee like Nightcrawler, different than a melee like Daredevil. In a regular ARPG with sane people working on it, they would just have one melee and it'd be pretty fun, but we're just kind of pushing that envelope. We also get to do heroes that are not necessarily for the mainstream. So if you look at the leftmost hero there, you see Doctor Strange. And we put him out, and he has a very sophisticated mechanic. He has his whole incantation mechanic. If you were just designing an ARPG with 5 classes, you probably wouldn't put that mechanic in the game, because it's not for everyone. It's for a very specific subset of people. But we get to do it, because we're doing 1 to 8,000 heroes. We can just be very experimental. Same with Loki. Loki is not a traditional one of the 5 classes that you would expect, but we can be a bit crazy with our heroes. These are some of the heroes that we've introduced recently, and since you all play, I'm not going to describe them in great detail. So let's go to the next slide, sir. Okay. This slide is pretty interesting because all of the features listed here were post-launch. So we launched 10 months ago, approximately, hence the top 10 weekend that we're hosting right now.
Which is crazy.
It's Sparta.
It is crazy.
It is Sparta. All these launched after our official launch date. You remember X Defense launched in the fall, and it started out as basically an addition to the Midtown Patrol Zone. So internally, we had a section of Midtown where bosses would just continuously spawn because we wanted to make a survival mode. We wanted to make a mode where no matter what, you will eventually die. And we had been playing a lot. I had been playing a lot of Gears of War at that time, and I thought, wow, it's great to have a mode that just hordes of enemies. Your gear really matters, your spec really matters, the tactics you employ really matter, because you are not going to face tank everything. You're not going to face roll everything because the content increases over time. In playing internally, one of the level designers, the guy on the forums who is called Heretic, very experienced designer, he realized that we had an unused landscape from the front of the X Defense mansion, so we completely reflavored it from Midtown to X Defense, and we've iterated on it basically every week for the last 6 months to get it to where it is now. Now it has 20 different types of enemy packs, it has split packs, it has a lot of...
Dupe wave.
Yeah. It has what?
Dupe wave.
Oh, it has Dupe Wave. Dupe Wave. He has the Doom Bot Wave, which I really wanted. So that's pretty darn cool. The Cosmic Terminals we added just to say, all right, if you are a person who has an amazing amount of patience / very good gearing / R-Storm / or Scarlet Witch, this is a challenge for you, and we probably will have a challenge beyond that later, but for now it's the pinnacle of your terminal runs. The Shield HoloSim, again, Heretic one-man designed this. He just said, hey, I think I could do this with our mission system. He took the layout and just made it basically as a side project over a couple of months. And if you have played HoloSim, you'll see that it's not a traditional a bunch of guys spawn and you kill them. There's actually decisions to make. Do I rescue the survivors? Do I run from Venom? When is Hulk going to show up so I can get his medal? All that type of stuff.
Or he one-shots you, in my case.
The thing I really liked about it, not only was it a side project, and not only do we encourage designers to bring their own side projects to the table and get them in the game, but it's also something that evolves. When it launched, it had about 12 or 14 different waves. Now it has more waves, more creative waves, more things to do. Speaking of internal people thinking of something and building it themselves, our new Endless Dungeon / replacement for Limbo is that kind of one-man show where a guy had a great idea, he went and built it himself, he pitched it, everyone liked it, and so now we've iterated on it, and it will release as a really cool randomized endless dungeon mode, probably in a few months. One-shot terminals are not in the game yet, although we have been playtesting them for a few weeks. I'm super excited about this. They are like the deluxe version of terminals combined with story mode, combined with a bit of a challenge mode. So these have a story, an independent story, or sometimes attached to the main story arc. So we can explore a lot of different things like what happens if Daredevil is in charge of the Hand, or what happens on Asteroid M, or we can go anywhere we want basically and have a small contained story. And unlike terminals, these actually have missions within them. So the Wakandan mine, for example, has sections where you're investigating what's going on in Wakanda. You're investigating, you don't know the type of enemy you're going to face, although we're going to show a motion comic that
spoiler.
Don't spoil it too much, Jeff. Move on to the next topic. You will have you'll have challenges, so you can't just go to the boss. You have to protect some of the mining facilities first with the Dora Milaje. Then did I pronounce that right?
It's close.
Realner.
It's close.
Then you'll have to save a bunch of scientists, and you'll have to complete some missions before you actually encounter the boss and get to the boss battle. So the rewards are amped up significantly to account for the fact that you can't just rush the boss. So we have about 25 of these one-shots planned. We have a bunch of different enemies that we've never used. So over the course of the next 1,000 to 8,000 years, we should be releasing a bunch of them. And then raids. Raids are somewhat of an historic thing for games of this genre. No ARPG has ever done a raid. They've been MMO exclusive. So by hybridizing an ARPG and an MMO, we actually get to do raids. We've been playtesting these for almost 8 weeks now. We have the back-end raid system totally working. You can invite 10 people to your party, as you've occasionally seen on the live servers. Whoops. You can venture into a raid zone. We built the first raid zone as the completion of the Asgard story. So you know the Asgard story started with Reed Richards investigating some anomaly in Norway. Then we went and we beat up Curse to get his gem. Then we fought Loki.
Some of us.
So I don't know, I never got one. Then we fought Loki and had that whole incredibly tough battle. Then we have a sneak peek of raids coming later. Anyway, as the storyline progressed, we kind of see Loki's role expanding, and the completion of the whole Loki, someone else story will end after you defeat the final boss of raids. And we actually,
first raid.
Yeah, the first raid. We actually do have the first official screenshot of the final boss of the first raid towards the end. But just mechanically, raids are very, very similar to what you would expect in an MMO with a few exceptions. One is we do not have the Holy Trinity. We don't have fighter, tank, healer. So each person is basically a self-contained unit. Everyone has a pocket healer with their either activated items occasionally or obviously med kits.
Deadpool power-ups.
Deadpool power-ups, yes. Speaking of which, we're adding a group functionality to every hero. As you noticed during Heroes reviews, we've been adding some group functionality. Before raids launch, we'll have group functionality for everyone, so we'll bring something to the raid, something to the table. A lot of the raids are going to be positional based and using your intelligence rather than just brute force that Realner uses.
I play Moon Knight, so yeah.
Matt is going to talk about behind the scenes stuff. Remember, he's the story producer. He also deals with all of the voice talent, so he flies down to Los Angeles and does all that stuff. Why don't you tell us about that?
That was a great setup. That was good. Yeah, so I'll be talking a little bit about the behind-the-scenes stuff, kind of what I do on Marvel Heroes. One of my main responsibilities is the motion comics that kind of help deliver the story in the game. And so I'll be kind of going over a little bit of a backstory of the process that we go through and how we actually make these little cutscenes that play in the game. Then afterwards we'll talk about voiceover and voice acting and kind of that process, and then we'll reveal a new voice actor next. So first thing for our motion comics, so basically everything starts off as a storyboard. It's kind of just a quick, thumbnail drawing type of a thing that one of our in-house artists creates. And that kind of helps us get an idea of how the scene is going to play out, what the shots are going to be like, that type of a thing. And then the next step is I'll take those storyboards and kind of edit together what's called an animatic. And an animatic is basically a moving storyboard with voiceover and sound and things like that. So we get an idea of how the video is going to play out at the end of the day. And it's all done with horrible in-house voice acting of me being Wolverine or something like that. And it all sounds really bad. And so now you all get to hear what some of that stuff sounds like. So.
This doesn't have my Reed Richards, right?
In theory, so long as the audio works. We will see. It doesn't work. Okay, so anyway, this is an idea of what it is.
Quick, Matt, do your voices.
Oh man, I'm Wolverine, I'm running around, I'm in the Savage Land. I don't know. Anyway, so long story short, those videos are full of horrible voice acting just like that. But again, our process starts off with these storyboards, and then what we really want to do is make sure that our motion comics feel like an authentic Marvel comic. So I have a good team of actual Marvel artists that work on these things, like Ron Lim or Sotomayor, those types of talent that's working on our game. So we'll see here is kind of the rough pencils from our storyboard that we just delivered over to them. So this is from Ron Lim. After the rough pencils, we go into the final pencils where kind of all the detail comes in and things like that. The next step, just like in comic books, we go into the inking phase, and then finally we go to a coloring phase with it. And that's kind of how, as all of you know, that's how traditional comic books seem to go in their production pipeline. But since we're a moving comic, a motion comic, if you will, we have the next step, which is having an animation group called Sequence Interactive. They're located in Canada. And they kind of take all of our different layers of 2D art, move it around, and make a video that kind of looks like this at the end product.
Hope there's sound.
There's no sound. Okay. Oh man, everything's awful in the Savage Land. I hate going to the Savage Land.
What are we doing going to the Savage Land?
But you get the idea. You guys have played it.
Oh, it was the worst Spider-Man voice ever.
I thought it was pretty good.
We always crash.
I thought that was Storm.
Go ahead, bub.
So anyway, so you guys kind of get the idea of how the videos play out.
You're a big wimp.
Guys, settle down. I'm
Holy
Cyclops.
crap, dinosaurs!
Oh no, it's so crazy.
Hold on to my seat.
Keep it together. I'm Cyclops. Oh no.
I told you we always crash!
Pew! Ka-chunk, chunk, chunk. Oh, that wasn't so bad. I hate you right now.
That was gross.
You're a
You
little
puked.
moist.
Roar, so. Get to the
Rush
train.
for the hills.
Pew, 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 choo-coo, ka-chunk. Bing, bunk. Oh, I need to get a day job. Oh no.
Why did we come to the Savage Land?
So there you go. Director's cut, right? All right. So that's sort of the idea of the cutscenes. There's actual real audio behind it, done by a talented group that actually worked on Marvel vs. Capcom. They do our audio design for us. It's a lot better than us doing it here, though.
It's a little better.
A lot better.
But
It's
now
a
that
little
we've
better.
done it, I kind of want to release just our version of that. If that's
Actually, Matt, I was going to say you just started a new YouTube phenomenon right there.
I dig it. I
Not
dig it.
kidding.
Yeah, we'll make a meme. It'll be a thing. That's what these kids are saying these days. It'll be great. Okay. Anyway, voice acting is also another part of my job. And really,
This isn't gonna work.
This isn't going to work, but we'll try and do this. But briefly about the process of voice acting for Marvel Heroes is we want to make sure that, again, it's an authentic Marvel experience. That you guys, if you are used to Steve Blum playing Wolverine on Wolverine and the X-Men, or Fred Tatasciore playing Hulk on Agents of Smash, they'll do the voices in our game as well. And so it's kind of like, it's fun to be able to take iconic voices and get them into our game. But the other fun part is getting characters that have not really been voiced before. So if you notice, we have like Lady Loki or Lady Deadpool as enhanced costumes for those characters, and those haven't been voiced anywhere before. So the fun part for me is being able to establish how those voices sound and maybe how they'll sound in the future in other projects as well. And talking about enhanced costumes, we're going to announce a new voice actor today here, and we're going to try and do this thing if the audio works, where we'll play a little clip and you guys can try and guess who it is. So let's see if this actually works.
No chance.
I will defend my adopted home world from all threats.
Wow.
Anybody have any ideas who that could be? Oh, you are just, wow, taking the wind out of my sails.
Dude, that was good.
All right, that was great, though. So anyway, yes, it is. We're gonna have Josh Keaton playing Captain Marvel for us. He is going to be. That was a great job, by the way. We should give him like a T-shirt or something. He's going to be voicing Captain Marvel for us, and he's going to be an enhanced costume for Miss Marvel. So if you're a fan of Captain Marvel versus Miss Marvel, you can kind of have your pick and pick whoever you want to play as. So for me, that's a really fun part of the project. And yeah, totally dig it. Down at the end. Stop right there.
Nice.
Keep going.
Dude, you should go on Marvel Jeopardy. Like, seriously.
That was great. I'm impressed.
I have a funny story about that.
All right.
Oh, I'm not
Did
impressed
we?
at all anymore now. Okay. Anyway, the next slide. would be-
Audio, video fail.
No. So by show of hands, how many of you guys want to be voice actors or would be interested in doing a voice in a game or something? Me. Well, conveniently, now is your chance to be in the thing. So we have mics set up in the room. One thing that I never get to do ever, because whenever we do a voiceover recording, it's just me, a couple of engineers, and the voice actor in the booth, and I don't get a big group of people like we have here. So I wanted to ask you guys if you would help me and do a couple of voices, couple of sounds of I don't know. Maybe we're in a big football stadium. And what does that kind of sound like when you're all excited that the game's going on? Nothing bad is happening yet. So let's just I'll count to 3 and I'll let you guys all give me your cheers and all that stuff, yeah? I'm getting a little looks here.
All right, yeah.
All right, ready? So 1, 2, 3, go. All right, we're in a football stadium. All right, okay, cool. All right, bring it down. All right, now we're in the same football stadium and all these sentinels are attacking the football stadium. What are we gonna do? How does that sound? Go! Keep it going. Well, that was, come on. Let's keep it going. One more. Keep it going. Panic, chaos. All right, so football stadium, sentinel attack coming soon to Marvel Heroes. Not really, but you'll hear your voices in there. All right, cool. We can move on to the next thing. Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right, so we're going to talk about some of the features that are coming up over the next couple of months.
Oh, bam! Here we go.
To introduce to you King T'Challa, the Black Panther.
My friends, welcome to Wakanda.
So, not that I don't mind a free ride halfway around the world, but what's up, Panther?
Because Wakanda is home to most of the world's vibranium supply, we are constantly under siege from all sides.
Vibranium?
It's weapon-making material, the kind that could change the course of the world.
As you know, Wakandans have always been able to protect our home, but some Wakandans are having trouble embracing the future. They want to keep things the way they have been for hundreds of years. People like M'Baku the Man-Ape, leader of the Jabari tribe, the worshippers of the sacred White Gorilla. The White Gorilla cultists are Wakanda's most savage warriors, and the mortal enemies of the Panther tribe. We are a peaceful nation, but things have escalated. M'Baku seeks to overthrow me, and I fear he has outside assistance. We must keep the peace and the vibranium in our country no matter what the cost. You know this is a grave situation if I felt the need to invite you here. Can I count on you, my friends?
Yeah, sure. What the hey?
Yeah, sure. Awesome. What the hey? That was the first time that's ever been seen by the public, ever, anywhere, just for the record. There you go.
So that is the intro to our first one-shot story. It is the Wakandan Vibranium Mine, and it takes place in parallel to the main story. So it's not the next chapter, it is just a chapter that we can offer. That's what all the one-shots will be like, just a chapter that we can offer. And that is the new boss, that's a new bad guy, who's awesome, Man-Ape.
I love Man-Ape.
Quite the cosplay outfit, if I do say so myself.
I have that exact outfit. Except I don't have a green loincloth, I don't have any. Wait, that's too fast. Cheating.
Cheating,
Man.
Spoiler. What?
Jeez Louise.
Oh, okay, now. That was just wrong. Okay, so this is a mock-up of the UI for our achievement system. We've been talking about it for a while. We have most of the back-end database work done for the achievement system. Because we want this system to be super robust and last for many years, 1,000 to 8,000 new heroes have to use it. So we decided to create a new database infrastructure just to make sure it's flawless and to make sure it doesn't affect performance, and we can track all the metrics and make sure all the stuffs is gotten done. So this is just a mock-up, obviously. Yep. See? Yes. This is what our UI team has put together. As you can see, this is very traditional in terms of how both the point system goes for an achievement system and the nested achievements and the types of achievements. We have a few things. So our philosophy is this for the achievement system. Do not completely reinvent the wheel, but put amazing racing tires on it. So we have 3 types of achievements that most games don't have. One is that we have achievements for your personal story related to comics. So what does Wolverine do in the comics and how can we relate that to an achievement? Also, we have team-up achievements. So what happens if you get X-Force together? Deadpool, the new Nightcrawler costume, we have a lot of X-Force costumes. That's something a traditional MMO can't quite do. We also have a lot of team-up achievements, so defeat Doctor Doom as the Avengers, defeat Doctor Doom as Thunderbolts, etc. One step back. Okay, now. No, just kidding, stay there. Sorry, I love you. Our achievement system will also give a lot of different types of rewards, and we're going to be 87% more generous with our achievement rewards than other games, just because we believe people invest a lot into achievements. I know I spent many years working on achievements in various games, and I think the rewards should be higher than they are traditionally now.
You're going to be quoted on the 87% for
All right, it's going to be more than 87.
It'll be 80. It'll be like
87 exactly.
Probably 88.
Yeah, maybe 88.
Too many rewards, pull it out. 87.
200%? That's what I heard in my
So the achievement system, we're hoping to launch within a month of our 1-year anniversary. As soon as it's actually ready to go and tested, we'll put it out. Not before that, but it's definitely close. What is the next thing we have here? Are we spoiling this?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
We are spoiling this.
Right. So we have not really talked in detail about this. One of the great things that we love in games, and David loves a lot, from the old EverQuest, was the alternate advancement system. A thing I really love a lot from Borderlands 2 was the badass rank system, and there's a lot of other games that have created some kind of alternate advancement system in various stages of sophistication and polish. So we want to basically take the best of every alternate advancement system that we've ever played and give it a Marvel twist and make it super polished and fun and long-term. And so that's what we've done. We worked with Marvel to decide on a flavor for the system, and we came up with the SHIELD Omega system. And let me describe it for you. As you know, as you've read comics over the last few decades, SHIELD has done a lot of stuff. SHIELD has researched basically everything. It's been involved in almost every major earthly and supernatural and cosmic and historical and technological supernatural. They have their fingers in everything. So our system will have the ability for players to earn, say, progress towards SHIELD nanotech research or SHIELD supernatural research, or if you remember the 2010 Jonathan Hickman series, more historical mysticism type stuff, cosmic stuff. And the system will let you invest freely in any of those categories I mentioned and a few more, like the Super Soldier program, or gamma radiation, or arcane attunement, or neural implants, cybernetics, etc. This is one tab. I believe it's themed after magic, arcane attunement. Each of the tabs will have a different setup, so you'll be able to acquire points in the system just from earning experience on any hero at any level at any time. That's why we've kept experience orbs in the game, because they will become very important once the system launches. So you'll be able to get points no matter who you're playing, no matter what prestige level you're at, no matter what level you're at, and you'll get those little Omega points. Each hero will be able to then choose from your pool of Omega points, just like synergies. You'll be able to choose how you allocate those points. So if you've earned 100 Omega points on your account, you can spend 100 on Deadpool, 100 on Wolverine, 100 on Doctor Doom, 100 on
Dr.
Havoc.
Doom.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa!
100 on whatever hero you happen to have. Actually, not yet. Not yet. 2 more seconds. 2 more seconds. Go back.
Too late, you can't go back. It's like 17 slides there that automatically play.
Okay, now. Anyway, this Omega system is going to launch before our first year anniversary. It's actually, the back end is almost completely done. The actual game experience for you will not be unchanged. You just play. You do anything you want, anything that garners experience, and when you gain enough, you'll... Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. When your experience bar fills up, actually, you will be able to right-click on your experience bar and see the bar for your Omega levels. And I think that functionality might actually be in the game right now, pseudo-accidentally. So you can flip your experience bar to see when your next Omega point is coming or when your next actual level is, because it's independent. And then a little orb will drop that looks a lot like the legendary experience orb. You pick it up, you get an Omega point, and you decide how to spend it. The UI is super slick and it's super beautiful. All right, this is trading.
It's got a hex grid. What's more beautiful than a hex grid?
I love hex grids.
Gorgeous. Yeah. Even Rocky had a
All
hex
sorts of
grid.
elaborate shapes and patterns and stuff on that in the hex grids too. It's really neat.
So we've been teasing trading. It is almost complete. This is what the UI looks like. Several things we wanted to do with trading. Although it seems like such a simple feature, there is a lot of sophistication to the back end because you want to make sure it is 1000% user friendly. We've played like games in the past where people can quickly macro a swap in. We've engineered this so that's completely impossible. Anytime someone changes an item, it automatically puts a cooldown on the trade. You'll be able to tooltip over, see exactly what the item is, what the rolls are, what enchants it has, etc. But other than that, it functions exactly as you would expect. You right-click on a person's name when they're nearby or in chat. Just like the inspect feature, you can just go ahead and trade with them. So we're expecting that.
No more dropping stuff on the floor.
Yep, I'm gonna miss that.
The shady subway deals.
It has nostalgic charm.
I guess it's
something, right?
It's training room deals now.
Yeah, it's a really advanced feature for a video game. Really advanced. All right. So now, new costumes. Who's gonna be explaining these?
Ryan, I'll talk about costumes. You guys like costumes?
Yeah.
So
In real life.
Matt, in real life? No, I'm just kidding. So Matt Group and I love costumes, and we get the pleasure of having a weekly costume meeting that rarely happens. I'm just kidding, it happens every week.
We sit next to each other, so there's not much need. But yes, we talk about costumes all day.
So we get to have the fun job of sitting around and thinking, like, what would we do for that character? Like, what should Scarlet Witch's next costume be? And like, well, what does the community want? And so on and so forth. So I want to show you guys some costumes today. This one that is already on the screen, so you've already seen it, is Loki's Siege costume from the Siege storyline from a couple of years ago, the big event where he died. He died.
No spoilers.
Oh, sorry.
I said no spoilers.
I'm teasing. He's back already, it's fine. He even grew up as a kid, it was very strange. This is personally my favorite look for Loki. Is his most modern and kind of ridiculous. He still keeps the ridiculous horns, but he's kind of a little more awesome, a little more like tough. So we chose to do this one as the next one because we just done Lady Loki, and we wanted to give Loki players who didn't want to play Lady Loki kind of a more iconic comic look that wasn't super classic and isn't movie. So we went with Siege, and I think this is maybe one of the coolest ones we will ever do for Loki. Because it's such a good design. Olivier Copiel did this one. It's flawless.
When does this one come out?
This one comes out on Tuesday, actually.
Wow.
So no one's seen it before.
Nobody's even seen it. Except Dave Brevik, he's seen
Except
it.
Reddit.
He sees all.
And wait,
Wait.
what?
Okay.
Next.
So the next one is our first enhanced costume for Ghost Rider. So we have a tendency that we super love doing these gender swap characters. We revealed Captain Marvel earlier for Miss Marvel, and that's the first one we went the other way. But we've done Lady Deadpool, we've done Lady Loki, we did Hawkeye, we did Kate Bishop for her, which is my personal favorite. I love Kate Bishop. so we were like, what can we do for next for Ghost Rider? Like, we have to really up his game because his default costume is so freaking cool and so well done that it has to be special. So we went for Alejandra Blaze, which was the Ghost Rider who appeared during Fear itself a few years ago. And she is ridiculous. Like, she turned out, this was, when we had a new artist come in, and this was his first model.
His first model,
and it was like, oh my god. Like, we did a really good job of hiring this guy. So yeah, this will be, I'm not sure when this one is shipping because it's going to have, the hair needs to be done special for her because she has really big hair, whereas old school Johnny Blaze just has straight up. So I'm not sure what the release date of this one, but I wanted to give you guys the first look at it because we've never shown it. I think we've teased it and that's it.
It'll be sometime in the next few weeks.
So the next one is also coming out pretty soon. This is the new Colossus costume. This is our second Ultimate costume in the game, which is really weird because the Ultimate Universe, it seems like something we would have tapped before. This is our first Ultimate X-Man when his classic blue and yellow / black and yellow, depending who colored it, uniform. He has amazing boots. Look at those boots.
It's the shiny skin.
They're so shiny. And
Skin looks shiny.
This is also the first Colossus that doesn't have the cool riveted skin, but he has this cool like T1000 metallic skin in Ultimate. And I dig that because it gives him kind of a different color palette and stuff. So this is actually coming out really soon as well, in the next week or two, I think. Maybe.
2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Couple weeks.
2 weeks. He says 2 weeks. So next up we have my favorite Deadpool costume ever. This is all my favorite costumes. That's why we did this. This is the Battle of the Atom costume for Deadpool. So this is a really confusing thing to explain. This is a future Deadpool who traveled back with the future X-Men to stop the past X-Men from being in the present. That is a real story, and it just happened. And it was actually really good. But, so yeah, he has awesome shades and ridiculous combat armor with spikes. Very 90s spikes, I like that nice touch. So yeah, this is coming pretty soon as well. Are you getting this?
I'm buying it.
Jeff here is I think you only play Deadpool nowadays.
Sometimes.
So, this is the guy.
Yeah, you don't need anything else. Write down the code on his arm, though. Use it.
What?
Wait,
the next thing we're about to show is
There's a code on his arm?
our new character that is coming out next week. So we're introducing Sue Storm. She'll be our 34th character, the Invisible Woman. Susan Richards. I'm sorry, I've been corrected about that so many times because she's been married for 35 years, 45 years, I guess, maybe more. So yeah, Sue Storm is coming out next week. This is her classic costume based on, I see this as based on the Michael Ringo stuff from pretty recently, like a nice spin on the original. She's also coming out with her Future Foundation costume, which these are so awesome. These are like, these costumes were done a few years ago when Johnny Storm died. I'm going to use quotes on a lot of deaths in every conversation about comics.
Negative zone.
Negative zone, yeah, it was some negative zone stuff, don't worry about it. And so they had Spider-Man join the team. They all got these really sweet white and black costumes, which could invert their colors, Matt. And there were black and white ones.
Ryan Collins.
Wouldn't that be a cool costume? So yeah, so Sue Storm comes out next week. I am super excited for her. She has giant force fields of death and also protect, which is the opposite of death, I guess. And she is super ridiculous and fun. She is on Test Center this weekend, actually. So you can actually already play her and test her out and give us feedback on her. And I need to make a new thread for that.
We don't need to do this one.
Oh, come on. The last one is in here. I feel like as a personal favorite to me because I am the nerdiest Moon Knight fan that I've ever met. I adore Moon Knight. This is based on his Warren Ellis and Declan Shalvey, the new series, which just came out, the all-new Marvel Now series. It is super good, and you should read it. I think it's going to win an Eisner, and if it doesn't, I'll cry. So with this one, we were like, man, we did a white costume and a black costume for Moon Knight right out of the gate. What the heck do we do next? Just combine them. But seriously, so this costume in-game actually, the Dink did a new cape on it, a new cowl. She changed his complete body. He has a new body. He has fully detailed, like in-game it looks ridiculous. He has like butt armor. It's great. Don't worry about the butt. So the funny story about this costume was that his butt armor was originally not correct. And I'm going to keep calling it that. Because we did this costume before the comic in which it debuted came out. And then the comic debuted the day we sent it to Marvel, and they were like, hey, that's not right. And it's like, oh, well, the comic wasn't out. So that makes sense. And then we changed it in like 1 day. She was crazy fast.
Yep.
And now it looks pretty much exactly like the comic and was like, oh, that's perfect, done. So I'm super excited about this. I'm going to stop geeking out about Moon Knight. I could talk to you guys forever about how much I love that weirdo. Maybe after the show.
Cool. Okay, so we have not shown any of the visuals for raids. At Gazillion, we have a ton of artists that work on different things. We have character modelers that do the costumes and the enemies and the new heroes that Ryan was just talking about. We also have 2D artists that do all loading screens and the icons and all that stuff. We have user interface artists that make the UI look good. And we also have a thing called environment artists. And the environment artists create every locale, they create every region. So for the last few months, they have been working on 2 things. One is they've been working on raids, which we're going to show you some of their work right now. And then they've been working on the new chapters of the story. So they did all the Asgard content, the Asgard city, Norway, Loki's throne room, etc. So in this sneak peek, you can see one of the fights, one of the battles in the raid.
In Muspelheim.
Inside Surtur's volcano. This is battle number 2, I believe, which with a very, hold it right there. This is a very unique boss. There'll be fire demons crawling up the walls. You can't tell the scale on this, by the way, but this is about the size, the entire raid zone is the size of 6 midtowns. 6 by 6 midtowns. So this fight alone is almost the size of Midtown itself, so it's huge. And the mechanics of the fight require players to break up into groups of 3 and decide what the ideal composition is for the breakups. And there's a bunch of trash mobs, and there's a boss that teleports, and this is her environment. She's the mistress of magma, and she does not mess around. So that's one environment. Lit in-game, it looks ridiculously beautiful. This is another environment. So one of the great things about these environment artists is they are no joke. They are serious business. When we told them that we wanted 5 different fights inside of a volcano, I thought, how are these guys going to make 5 distinctly looking amazing fights? So this is another one of the fights inside a volcano. It's in the acid bath, the lower section of the volcano. It looks completely different. No fire, no ash. These are just acid pools. And this particular fight, let's go to the next one. Oh, wait, one back. Sorry, I thought we had 2 slides on this. In the acid pools, you'll be fighting an enemy who has prisoners. He has 10 Asgardians prisoner, and you'll have to decide to defend the Asgardians and or fight him and move around as the Asgardians are threatened. Very complicated fight. Requires basically perfect teamwork to pull off. And during the fight, you'll be moving throughout the acid pools. This screen is about 1/100th the size of this particular fight. Just a ton of room to move around and that sort of thing. Okay. Also, for the fight, we have almost 10 new enemies just for the raid itself. Some are bosses, some are henchmen of bosses and lower level mobs. One of the cutest guys is this guy.
He's so adorable.
I love him. He's, as you can see, he's a fire giant shaman. We have a bunch of different fire giants with different models, some with these amazing bows and some with twin cleavers that spin and win.
They're not colossus.
Right. So this dude, among other things, he throws cauldrons of fire, so they're kind of tough to avoid, but I really loved his model. He's akin to like a walrus plus a Fear Itself dude.
Plus Jeff.
Plus Red Hulk, plus me. Like all 4 things combined, which is basically perfect. So that's the first time we've showed this guy. He should be a costume for someone, for the Hulk or something.
He's the real near costume.
Right.
The next one's kind of a big thing.
Oh, okay. The next one is a big thing.
It's a big thing.
All right. So the final fight is Surtur, and he's this dude. So that is size. That is Loki. That is the character model of Loki beside him.
That is actually to scale. It is
Scale,
ridiculous.
Yeah. So you will be fighting this dude if you can clear out his henchmen, which are very, very difficult fights, the hardest content we've had, not necessarily from the DPS incoming standpoint, but just from the tactics that you'll have to use. Anyway, eventually you'll beat them. You fight this dude, and this is Surtur directly from the comics. In the comics, he is 1,000 feet tall, so we couldn't put a standard size model at all. He requires the camera to be pulled back. So when this fight occurs, you'll be able to pull the camera back like 5 times as far as you normally would be able to. He is also has incredibly I think he has 7 different attacks, 7 different powers, from swinging his sword into different regions, to calling in demons, to comets that require you to group up, and other stuff that requires you to spread out, and ads and healers, and tons of different stuff for this particular fight. So this is him. You can earn that sword. That is an item that will drop from him, his sword. What's it called?
The sword is called Twilight.
Twilight.
And we're going to argue about that after this. I'm teasing.
He's going to win.
He's not teasing.
Definitely not. But yes, that's Twilight. It's a giant sword that he plunges into Asgard to start Ragnarok.
Right. Correct.
He's kind of a jerk.
I was going to say, on this slide, the last part of our panel, before we do a Q&A, I guess, afterwards, is kind of what is the next part of the story going to be in Marvel Heroes.
Post-Surtur.
Post-Surtur, right. So we had the launch, the Doctor Doom saga, as I call it, and then there's the Asgard adventures that we do, and then kind of what is the next thing that we're going to do. We don't have a lot to show for it. We have a couple of pieces of imagery. We're only going to show one, though, here. Should we show it now? Right now?
Oh yeah.
That's all we're allowed to say or show, but you guys can get the idea of where we're going to be going next in the next story expansion for Marvel Heroes. So
That's really exciting.
Unfortunately, everybody, we are out of time.
Boo.
Yeah, we ran out.
Boo.
We were past.
Sure.
So what I'm going
Much
to
more
do?
talkative than I thought.
Was
What's
it all
that?
the Moon Knight talk?
Oh, we do. Okay. So why don't you guys line up to the mic and we
10
can do
minutes of
quick fan questions, and we'll go from there.
And we'll stick around outside for people that want to ask more questions.
yeah.
Just keep questions short, please, so everybody can answer, and we'll go.
How are you guys handling the map port of the game? Because I have never played that game on the map. I mean,
Yep.
how are you handling it?
This is
Need
our
to change
status.
it, or
Yeah, we are in very early stages of Mac testing. So every day we make iterations on the Mac client, and we should be announcing the more and more people to the beta every day.
Yeah,
So-
we are actually in the process of, it's being tested right now by by some players, and we're going to be adding more and more over the next month. Basically, it's going to get
Yeah.
bigger and bigger. So
Very
It
close.
is close. It's very close.
it's almost
I
there.
don't have to try to download that game when I'm finished with this channel.
That's all. But yeah, we'll see you there.
And then Mac people will be able to play with PC people, et cetera, et cetera. In
Yeah.
your account, you can play on the Mac and go onto a PC. It doesn't matter what you're playing on to.
Dave plays a Mac, so he understands.
Cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's awesome because I play on a Mac as well, 1920 Club. I play that, so. My question is really about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and how much it'll be involved. Because I think the Battle for New York would be a fantastic raid. I think that would just be a phenomenal raid.
Write that one down.
Yeah, we
quick.
should write that down.
That's a really good idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we do some things. I was gonna say do, but we don't. We do some things where we do mix in with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like a lot of our costumes are cinematic versions of them and things like that. When we were in Asgard, for example, you fought against the cinematic version of Malekith, and the Dark Elves were there and things like that. So we definitely like to tie in with it as much as we can. It is just part of the Marvel Universe because there's television shows and games and movies and all that stuff and comics, obviously. And so we want to make sure we kind of share the love type of a thing. So, but yeah.
Thanks.
Cool. Go ahead, man.
Hey, first off, I've been playing the game since beta. Really happy where it's gone. Thank you very much for the game.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My question is about the raids. Do you guys have any sort of plans to implement the need for specific heroes so that it's not like, oh, we need to have 3 Black Panthers or 4 Storms or...
This is how we're handling that. We have very carefully designed every encounter so that that is not true. So that any hero has a place in it. So there's certain encounters where you absolutely want to bring at least some melee. There's some encounters where you absolutely want to bring a physical damage dealer or a mental damage dealer. So we split up. For example, you might see a fight where the ads of the Mistress of Magma, some of them are just immune to mental damage. Some of them, if you get close to them, you just freaking die. So that's how we're ensuring that raids, everyone will have a spot in raids.
Very cool, thank you very much.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Hey, so I drove in from Pittsburgh, and I'm missing out on the Big Ten weekend.
Me too.
So is there any chance of that getting extended to Monday? Is it?
It goes until Friday.
Oh, well then that's perfect.
Also,
all right. Also, multiple man
if you see me
playable and the
after-
Moon Knight tuxedo.
I love both. Both.
Yes.
Thank
See
you.
me after, I'll log you in. I'll log you in in the hotel. So
Really?
F yeah.
I swear.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Make sure you get that basket tomorrow.
Also, you guys are one of the
Log in
most
tomorrow.
involved developer communities I've ever seen. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gazillion employee will never ask for your password.
Except for now.
Right now.
Hi, I just want to say you guys are awesome. Thank you very much for the game. I know that Black Widow just got a review and Wolverine's about to get a review. I was wondering if and or when Hulk might be getting looked at.
Did you say Hulk?
Yes.
Yeah. So our order is Wolverine, Storm, do the rest of the X-Men, then do Hulk, Thor, Thing, Cable, Deadpool. However, we're going to do mini reviews of the people who are still months away because we can do a lot with a mini review. TTK, TTL, quality of life, hey, let's throw in an extra power. So that's what we're going to do with Hulk, Thor, Thing, etc.
Great. Thanks
Yep.
again, guys.
First off, I just wanted to say thanks for all the work that you guys do on the game. It's obvious that you guys are not just, game designers. You guys are comic fans too. It's obvious in the work that we see there, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
My question is actually, as someone who enjoys more sort of the single-player experience, are we going to need to participate in the raid content to get a resolution for the Asgard storyline? Is there a way, just as a single player, my job, I work third shift hours, and so
Absolutely.
sometimes it's hard finding a group to play with. So is there a way to experience that?
Yes, you will be able to experience it. You'll see the new cinematic that Matt's team put together, solo or in groups. We're going to have a method for that to be true.
Excellent. Thanks, guys.
Absolutely.
Okay. Will we be seeing Angela or Howard the Duck anytime soon in any way?
There's an obscurity. See that?
We were talking about
it's coming.
actually like on Friday, like yesterday or Thursday.
Yesterday we were talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about Howard the Duck yesterday, actually. Not even a joke.
I love
Angela
Howard
would
the
be
Duck.
super cool. Yeah, we love Howard the Duck. We have teased him a few times.
It's
We
true.
have.
We definitely have plans for him. So you will, yes.
I wouldn't be
The answer to one of
surprised
those.
if he shows up sometime in the near future.
Okay. But, about Angela though, anything? Maybe?
That's an interesting question. Angela,
So I know
we'd have to
she's
look into because she just moved over and such.
Right.
So she's in kind of like a really weird place of like where is she going to end up? And there's a lot of story stuff that obviously Marvel's doing with her right now, and just also fleshing out what she can do in the Marvel universe because she doesn't have the same power she does in the Image universe, I guess.
It's close, but yeah.
It's close, but we haven't seen. We don't know yet.
Sorry that he kind of ducked the question there.
That was a pretty fair answer. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to just say I'm a huge fan of the team-ups that have come out thus far. I have all except for one of them. I have all except for Spider-Man. Didn't have the money to get Spider-Man. I'm saving up my splinters to get him. But I ended up, I'm wondering, I saw in one of the forum posts about the pre-sale pack for the new ones that alongside these there are also going to be others that might be movie related. I was wondering if there are going to be any that are like Guardians of the Galaxy related coming out in August.
Yes, that is our plan. Our plan is to have Guardians of the Galaxy related team-ups.
Are there any in particular planned?
We're not going to spoil it too
We
much,
won't
but
spoil it too much, yeah.
Not yet.
We haven't got the final list, which is why we can't spoil it, but we're going to be as obvious as possible.
That's a good answer. Guys, we got about 5 minutes, so we're going to do speed round to make sure everybody gets their questions, so just go quick.
Yes.
I'm like super into cosmetic rewards in games. I know it's a touchy subject.
Not really.
I mean, like you start on the forums and some people are like, they should never give us free costumes, they earn the money, and some of them are like, I want something. But, so anyway, I've never really been into min-maxing with gear and stats and everything. I just like going after pets and costumes and things. I know you can't give away everything. Are we ever gonna have something, that 1 week where we could get the chase costumes was like heaven for me for Splinters. Are we ever going to have something to shoot for there? I mean,
that was David's idea, by the way, putting the chase costumes on the Splinter banner for that one. Good guy. That's something we have to think about. I think the philosophy is good. I think we should do something like that, maybe for our 1-year anniversary, or for crafting, or for the launch of a special system like achievements or raids. I think we should take that to heart and give it some thought.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Keep going, guys. We got to be quick.
I was just wondering if there's any plans on adding team arenas or leaderboards, anything like that?
Did you say for PvP?
For
or
PvP, yeah, like team arenas.
Yes. Yeah, for people who shred in PvP, we're definitely going to have leaderboards either when PvP gets out of beta or shortly thereafter. Absolutely.
Awesome. And you should also add a Disco Deadpool costume.
Disco Deadpool from the variant cover.
There's too many Deadpool costumes.
Deadpool's the easiest costume guy in the world.
Awesome. Is there any plans for Young Avengers, either as characters or, swaps like Wiccan over Scarlet Witch or Hulkling over Hulk?
Wiccan over Scarlet Witch. That's
I mean, one thing I cannot confirm nor deny any of this, but I'm a fan of Wiccan. And we talked about doing Wiccan as an enhanced costume, possibly for Scarlet Witch in the future. So
it's out there. It's in the ether.
I love how many yes answers you guys give. That's like awesome.
Yes.
I know.
Except me. I duck questions. No, just kidding.
For a short question, 4 words: Richard Ryder ?
That's the plan. Period.
That was 3 words.
I just saw in that beginning cinematic that Groot was in the lineup of people. Is he gonna be playable, or is that part of your not quite sure?
I don't think
what
he'll
you can
be
say?
playable. No.
Oh, okay.
But if you play as Rocket Raccoon, you can summon in Groot and have him come in and I'm Groot and do all of his Grooty things.
I'm so glad he has a voice.
Thanks.
All his Groody things like I am Groot.
All right, quick two-part question. You got Clark Gregg to come in and do the voice of Coulson. Has there been any talk of doing a Phil Coulson as a team-up character?
Yeah, more than talk.
Absolutely.
More than talk.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Nailed it.
And secondly, have you guys what are the things holding up cinematic enhanced costumes, like trying to get some of the acting talent like Clark Gregg to come in and do voice versions of their...
Just they're tightly controlled in terms of time and money.
But that said, there may be some cinematic costumes and enhanced costumes in the very near future.
Yes. Yep.
All right. Love the game.
Thanks.
My question is, I've seen the more recent models that you guys have done, Invisible Woman and all that. Do you intend on going back to edit the other
It's funny you should
models?
say that. Yeah, I mean, we talk about that on a daily basis, really. And really, it's just a matter of having enough time to put out new costumes and new content for you guys to experience versus going back and kind of refining our older models. It's something we really want to do. But it's kind of this balancing act, right, of how much do we go back and clean up our older models now that we have a higher quality bar versus how much new stuff we want to keep putting out. So it's definitely stuff we discuss, like I said, on a daily basis, literally. So, I would not be surprised if some of the older models got some love.
All right, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
You guys, we can do 1, 2, 3 real quick. Go.
I know you said you were bringing back a new Limbo, but anything on the group challenges like Subterranea?
Yes, we want to bring back the group challenges for sure, with 80% of the mechanics intact, and just iterate a little bit on them and re-release them.
Awesome.
So still timed, still random boss, still spread out and activate some things, but probably not an escalation of damage or anything like that.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Are you guys still planning on doing the Stark Tech items in the game?
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Is there
Absolutely.
a timetable on that, or?
Probably within, I would guess, 8 to 12 weeks.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Last question, everybody good. Will we ever see Stan Lee as playable as a superhero?
Stan Lee is a playable superhero? What? That That would be awesome. I mean, he is in the game. Agent Lee is somewhere in the game if you found him or not, but that would be a very cool idea, definitely.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for coming to Chicago and doing this panel. This was awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for coming out.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Now I want to play. Now I'm going to go home and play, see? My son and I have a cable Punisher kind of thing going, so that's how it goes. All right, guys, thanks again. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.